Hey everybody, in this video, we are going to go over why home builder websites fail. And in this video, I'm going to give you the information so that you have the information so that your home builder website doesn't fail and that you're not doing the same things all the other people are doing and making that same mistake. I want to help you avoid making that mistake. So we're going to go through the fundamentals of what makes a successful website. We're going to go over some good websites and some bad websites. Most home builder websites are completely failing. People build a website so that prospects have a place to go, get information about your company, and then hopefully go to the contact form and fill out the form so that you can phone them and you can start your process. You can start your sales process. You want your website to be a sales machine. You don't just want your website to be a glorified brochure. You want your website to be built in a way that is optimized to generate traffic and take that traffic and convert it into contacts that can do business with you. So if your website isn't bringing in any traffic, then your website probably has some of these common problems I'm going to list out here now. The first mistake most people make, and probably one of the biggest mistakes, is they have no call to action. Something that's going to entice somebody to fill out the form or give you their info or schedule a meeting. Like, what's the reason why somebody would actually do that? So the call to action has to give value and it has to be enticing. Like, it has to make somebody want to fill out your form. Otherwise, it's just a contact form that sits there and somebody sees it and they're like, man, I don't know if I want to fill that out, because they know that they're going to get a sales pitch or they're going to get a call and they might not just be ready for that. But if you give them value first and you're willing to give them value, well, most likely, if it's valuable enough, they're going to be willing to put their information in there in return for that value that you're going to give to them. Make sure that call to action is valuable and make sure it's clear. Now, I'm just going to go through a website just to give you an example, and I don't want to out anyone specific. So I'm going to go Chicago Home Builders. Okay. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to like the sixth page. Most likely, if they're on the sixth page, they have some work they need to do, right? So, America's Custom Home Builders. Boom. We land on his website. Where's the call to action? I mean, let's be real here. You know what they do. America's Custom Home Builders. Home services, projects, gallery. But his phone number is here. That's all right. But I mean, where on his website is he giving me something of value that I can actually trade my contact details for? I mean, does fantastic work, but the call to action here, contact, very basic form. I mean, I know that if I fill out this form, I'm about to get a sales pitch. So you want to have something, instead of a phone number, you want to have something like get a free estimate or book a consultation or like something that has a little more. So a good call to action would probably be something somebody on the first page would probably have that down, right? So let me show you what I mean. If we go to the first page and we go to Overstreet Builders, you see this? Call today. That's a decent call to action. View our home designs. Boom. Okay. So if I click on a home design, boom, call to action, send a message, download the brochure. So if it's done correctly, I should be able to press this and it's going to ask for contact details. Boom. They're pretty generous. They just give it away. But that's a spot where you could ask for contact details and then you just show what that brochure, like, hey, we could trade contact details in return. Somebody gets to download and see that. I think that's a perfect opportunity. That's what I would fix on this website. But call to actions are huge. So make sure that you have a valuable call to action and you actually have a reason for a call to action and you have an intent with it. Like, you don't just want people to fill out a form. I mean, if you have a good enough offer, people will fill it out, but people need a little more and they just don't want to fill out a form and get a sales pitch. You need to make sure that there's value in exchange for that number. So now let's go over the second biggest problem. So if we go back a little bit further, the second biggest problem here, let's see, Chicago. Let's go Brandon MB Builders, R&M Homes. You see? So The second biggest problem is you have a poor website design. This one isn't necessarily that bad, but it has little info, and you want it to be clean, modern, and up to date. And the first thing that you notice on a website like this is it's not even secure. Well, you could wake up one morning and the website's been corrupted because it's easily been hacked. Well, you want to make sure it's secure, it's up to date, and it's a good representation of what you do. So if you go to like gallery, like you just want to highlight these photos in a more professional way that's actually intriguing. Like, how am I supposed to get to the next one? Right? So you want to make it an easy, seamless journey. The second thing is the loading speed. So obviously, when we jumped on there, there was a pretty poor loading speed. Let's see this one. Bang, fast. Good call to action, also, right? But on this one, see loading. That's too long of a loading time. People want the result now. Make sure you're using a good host to have a solid website speed. Make sure you use something like Hostinger. Make sure you can use good plugins like WP Engine. You can use caching plugins. So just make sure the website speed is fast. You can go to a website and look up like website speed optimizer and just make a speed optimizer test for your website. Check out how your website is loading. If it's a few seconds, then you definitely have some work. You want it to be almost instant. People's attention span is just too low. The fourth biggest problem is SEO. So let me just take an example of Chicago home builders. So on the SEO side, this is you showing up organically, like ID home builders, general contractors. You can see one thing is he has 46 5-star reviews. You probably got a mixture, but doing pretty well. And if you look down the map here, almost nobody else has that amount of reviews. I mean, some people do. So it comes down to how credible your business, how long you've been on here, what keywords do you have within the description of your Google My Business, and what's the most relevant. So you want to make sure you have a lot of things dialed in here, but you want to make sure that you're ranking near the top. So Overstreet Builders, why are they ranking for Chicago home builders? The reason they're ranking for Chicago home builders is because you can see in the title here, it says Home Builders Chicago, and that's what I did, right? Chicago Home Builders. But then you can see also it says homes, and then you see here it says Chicago. But if I click in here, bang, you can see it probably says homes in here, and it probably also says Chicago. So custom homes, Chicago. You see that? And then I bet you near the end, it also shows Naper, Illinois, and then probably says again, dream home. And so it's just the most relevant search. But then if you go down again, why are they also ranking high? Because I put in home builder, Chicago home builder, homes, Illinois, Chicago. Again, very relevant to the search. You want to make sure that you have the URL dialed in for wherever you're trying to rank. You want to make sure the title tag is dialed in, and you want to make sure the meta description is dialed in. And then you want to make sure the content is super relevant to support that keyword. So Google likes to see it, make sure it's relevant and make sure it's actually giving the person the information of what they search for. So make sure it's relevant. That's the most important factor here. The fifth one is just mobile experiences. If you're bringing people through your website and most traffic's on their phone, if you have a bad mobile, like if it's not optimized for mobile, got to make sure it's optimized for mobile because 80% of the traffic or more will be on mobile. So if you don't have it mobile optimized, you're pretty much just throwing money out the window, especially if you're advertising. So to end this video off, I'm going to give you some action tips here. The 5 fixes here are we need to add a strong CTA, a call to action to convert the visitors. We need a modern, clean design for our website. We want to make the website look like a new website, just like you're building a new house. You don't want to build a website or have a website that looks like it's 10, 15 years old. People see right through that. You want to make sure that your website speed is fast and efficient and that your website loads faster than everybody else's. You got to make sure that you have basic SEO dialed in on your website so that you're showing up organically in your local service area where you're trying to build. I mean, that's one of the most important things that you could do because if you're running paid ads, the minute you stop running paid ads, the attention goes away. But with search engine optimization, if you're ranking number 1 for something, that can yield you results for a long time to come, as long as you manage and maintain and progress with your SEO. Lastly, don't be that person with a bad mobile optimized website. If that's you, make sure you get that fixed. Call somebody to get that fixed, or subscribe to this video, like this video, and reach out to us, and we'll help you make sure your website is looking good, is optimized, and is ranking to get you traffic. Thank you for watching this video. Appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one.